Welcome to Chapter 8, where we will explore how to select and develop the tools you'll use to collect your data. Whether you're using existing instruments or collecting new ones, this chapter will help you make informed decisions about measurement. We'll cover both quantitative and qualitative approaches with practical guidance for your research proposal. By the end of this presentation, you'll be able to do the following. The objectives focus on practical measurement decisions you'll face in research. We're not just learning terminology, we're building skills to help you choose the best measurement approach for your specific research question and defend those choices in your proposal. This is the fundamental decision you will face in measurement planning. The default should be to use existing measures when they are appropriate, but sometimes creating new measures is necessary or beneficial. The key is making this decision thoughtfully, considering both the benefits and cost of each approach. Using existing measures offers significant advantages. When a measure has been used in multiple studies, you'll benefit from all that validation work. You can directly compare your results with previous research because you're using the same measurement tool. This builds cumulative knowledge rather than starting from scratch. Plus, it saves you considerable time and effort in development and testing. Existing measures aren't always perfect fits. You might need to modify questions for your specific population or context, but modifications can affect the measure's established validity and reliability. If the original measure has flaws, you inherit those problems. Sometimes measures developed for one population do not work well with another. These disadvantages do not necessarily mean you shouldn't use existing measures, but you need to weigh the trade-offs. Finding existing measures requires some detective work. Journal articles usually provide references rather than reproducing full measures. The ETS test collection database is an incredibly valuable resource. It's not just educational tests, but measures of attitudes, personality, social behavior, and more. So when you find a relevant measure, the database often provides contact information for the developers or indicates where you can download it directly. Validity is about whether your measure actually captures what you think it captures. If you're measuring anxiety, does your instrument really measure anxiety or something else? Statistical approaches compare your measure with established measures. If theories predict relationships, you should see them. Expert judgment involves having knowledgeable people evaluate whether your items really represent the construct you're trying to measure. Reliability is about consistency. Would you get similar results if you measure the same thing again? The number of items matters enormously. A 3-item test can be heavily influenced by lucky guessing, but luck averages out over 20 items. When your measure involves subjective judgments like rating classroom behavior, you need multiple observers to agree. This is why we need clear criteria and definitions for subjective measures. In qualitative research, we talk about credibility rather than validity, but the concept is similar. Are we capturing what we think we're capturing? Member checks involving involve going back to participants to see if your interpretations ring true to them. Prolonged engagement means spending enough time to really understand the context. When you can't spend months in the field, time sampling spreads observation across different days or times. Triangulation uses multiple sources. If students, teachers, and parents all tell similar stories, that increases credibility. Dependability is about consistency in qualitative research. Having multiple people code your data independently and then compare their interpretations helps ensure you're not seeing patterns that aren't really there. When coders disagree, discussion helps you better reach interpretations or better interpretations. Triangulation of measures means using different types of data collection with the same people. If interviews and observations tell the same story, that increases dependability. Sometimes creating new measures is the right choice, but it comes with responsibilities. You'll need to demonstrate that your new measure is valid and reliable, which takes time and additional participants for testing. This is especially important for thesis and dissertation research where methodological rigor is closely scrutinized. Before deciding to create new measures, make sure the benefits justify the additional work required. Here is your practical planning process. Start with a thorough literature review to see what measures exist. Evaluate how well existing measures fit your specific research goals and population. Be realistic about your time and resource constraints. Developing new measures takes considerable effort. Make informed choice based on these factors. Whatever you choose, plan how you will address measurement quality, whether that's reporting existing validity information or establishing it for new measures. Your research proposal needs to clearly describe your measurement approach. For existing measures, demonstrate that you understand what the measure does and provide evidence of its quality. For new measures, show that you've thought through the development process and have a plan for establishing quality. In both cases, provide enough detail for readers to understand and evaluate your measurement choices. Let's recap the key principles. Start by looking for existing measures that fit your needs. This is usually the most efficient approach. Use available resources like the ETS database to find measures. Understand the quality criteria relevant to your research approach. When you do need to develop new measures, make sure you can justify that decision and have a plan for establishing their quality. Good measurement is fundamental to good research, so invest the time to get it right. As you develop your research proposal, use these guidelines to strengthen your measurements section. Be specific about what you're measuring and how. Provide evidence that your measures are appropriate and of good quality. Justify your choices, especially if you're modifying existing measures or creating new ones. Be honest about any limitation. This shows methodological sophistication. Remember, measurement decisions are crucial because they determine the quality of your data and the validity of your conclusions. Take the time to make these decisions thoughtfully and document them clearly in your proposal.